Welcome to Two Sports Overtime, the inaugural episode here on WDTN Plus. It's your Two Sports team, Kayler Smith, alongside Sports Director Joey DeBerardino. Excited to be here with y'all today.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Kayler, and a lot of fun things on tap as we start this exciting new segment here on the Channel 2 Plus app. And, we get a chance to bring all of you viewers, at home, exciting sports content throughout all of our newscasts, 6, 10, and 11 each week, each weekend. But now this is a really cool opportunity for us to be kind of behind the scenes and bring you extra coverage of things you might have missed or things we didn't get a chance to talk about too. And obviously
go a little more in depth.
Exactly. With an exciting summer and fall on the horizon as well. And even things that have happened here in the last couple of weeks too. We hope to, give everyone all the content and the exciting, sports stuff that they're looking forward to right here in the Miami Valley, Cincinnati, and beyond in the Buckeye State. So, with that being said, we're going to dive into a few different topics here for this first series as we get going with this debut episode, as you mentioned.
Not to be too punny, Joey, but summer's off to a blazing start here in the Miami Valley.
It is. That weather's starting to heat up too, and we've seen a lot of great local champions. We had a big golf tournament here in the state of Ohio with the Memorial, and a big-time winner again, the world #1 golfer back in town, Scotty Scheffler, to defend his title, and an exciting college baseball season too for Wright State specifically. UD had a great season as well, and now we're going to be turning that lens soon to football season. It'll be here before we know it.
That's right, and it's been a busy offseason for those UD Flyers. Anthony Grant entering his 9th season at the helm, and he's really taken this transfer portal by storm. Very focused in who he's targeting with these transfers, Joey. 4 guards and 1 forward. Yeah, what do you think that says?
And they need it. When you look at the guys that are departing from the program from this past season, you lose your point guard, Malachi Smith, Isaac Jack, a big man gone. He's a forward, though, but, UD has always seemed like they've been a guard-heavy program. Anthony Grant seems that's what he likes. That's what works for this group. But wanting to see that faster pace of play of offense, it seems that's what the fans would like to see, and that's what it seems like they need to continue to improve on. And then the defensive side of the ball. But it's an exciting, outlook for another season, especially when you get a guy like Javon Bennett back. They're a feisty guy who's now going to be running the point, kind of taking over that full-time point guard position. And then you get a guy like Amel Latong, one of the best freshmen from the Atlantic 10, the 6'7" guy from Toulouse, France. So, yeah, and he had a great freshman year and looking to build off that sophomore year. So when you got 2 key pieces like that coming back, it's always a good sign. It was a bit of, maybe not a surprise, but it was a bummer seeing Malachi Smith go on to UConn as well. And then obviously Nate Santos, Pasha Alexander, Enoch Cheeks, 3 instrumental pieces of the team graduating and moving on. So, but as always, it's always a new thing to see a new team come into the building and see what they're going to be made of. And when we take a look at these 5 guys, closer look too, and we see there's a lot of potential there.
Yep, and a lot coming from the Power 5 transfers. We'll start off with Deshane Montgomery. He's a 6'5" guard that comes to the Gem City from most recently Georgia, but before that he was actually at Mount St. Mary's. They were just here in the Gem City not too long ago for that first 4, Joey. Very impactful when he was at Mount St. Mary's, Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Rookie of the Year for his 13 points per game and 3 rebounds per game. Yeah,
anytime you can get a guy too that spent time in the SEC, I mean, it's always a bonus too. Obviously, when you get a guy from
league
Georgia
this year.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to look at his background. Obviously, he didn't see a ton of minutes while he was at Georgia. Only about 15.5 per game, as we mentioned, but. He might be a guy that comes off the bench for this group here as a guard. He can clearly shoot the ball, can get in there and rebound and assist. The guy that they're looking to fill, really the 2 biggest in my opinion. Obviously, Malachi Smith is the point guard who runs the offense, but you have Javon Bennett back for that. The 2 key pieces that they are really going to be looking to fill the shoes of as best they can will be Enoch Cheeks and Nate Santos. 2. Santos, big forward, can shoot the ball really well, as we saw one of their best 3-point shooters, especially after Kobe Brea left. He went on to Kentucky. And then Enoch Cheeks, really just their physical go-to guy that can just get it done dirty in the paint, shoot the ball, move around the offense. He was that kind of motor for the team. So any one of these guys can kind of step up into that role, and maybe it'll be one of these next 3 guys that we talk about too.
Next up, we have Bryce Hurd coming from NC State. He comes as a sophomore with 3 years of eligibility remaining. You know, I'm sure Flyers fans would love to see him stick around for all 3 of those. He played 24 games as a rookie for the Wolfpack, 28 total points, so not a ton of production when he was on the floor, but maybe that just comes with the territory of being young on a Power 5 roster, and he's ready to have a breakout here.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at, he was a former four-star recruit from Chicago. I mean, clearly a very highly touted prospect coming out of high school. So it seems like these are always the guys that Anthony Grant and the program have targeted, guys with, you know, a lot of success at the, you know, the prep level, the high school level, whatever it may be, you know, that have the talent, but maybe haven't had such flashy college careers yet. But that's what, you know, the Flyers do. They bring those guys in, they develop them, and, you know, try to make them a winning ball club. So, you know, we'll see where he fits in. Obviously, another young guy, but would it be surprised to maybe see him getting more minutes of maybe a handful of these guys here as well? But I think these next 2 guys that we're going to touch on are going to be guys that you're going to probably see in the starting lineup from day one. So, I mean, when you look at Adam Njai, a sophomore guard out of Ionia, I mean, 32 games, 27 starts. I mean, he was shooting the lights out of the ball, too, from the floor. This is a guy that knows how to run Anthony Grant's offense. And in tandem with Javon Bennett, really be a deep threat as well from the perimeter. This guy is, you know, watching his tape, you know, super jittery, kind of has all the makings of kind of an Enoch Cheeks. I won't try to compare him yet to Cheeks. Flyers fans, don't come after me yet. But, I mean, when you look at the build, that physical, fast play, really good on-ball defender, too, that will be what's missing with the absence from Cheeks. So, will be exciting to see how he fits in to this lineup.
And he also comes as a sophomore with 3 years of eligibility. And fun fact, you're seeing the pictures right now from the championship of that league, Iona against Mount St. Mary's. It was Iona that fell in that game that sent Mount St. Mary's to the first 4 here in Dayton.
Yeah, and it's always cool when you get that post experience of guys that are here in Dayton, here in town for the first 4, and then just a few months later, you're seeing him in a Flyers jersey. So that's always cool, too, and it'll be something cool for the Flyers fans to know that, you know, a guy that was at least here in the building. And
a lot of playing time, too. 32 games, starting 27 of those. You mentioned shooting the lights out of the ball. Precisely 41% from the floor in his freshman year, so not too shabby. And to have that Division I experience and come into Dayton and be ready to go if he needs to be, that's, I think, a positive for Anthony Grant.
Yeah, and talking to a lot of people with knowledge of these recruits, everyone seems pretty high on Adam Njai. So I see him as a day 1 starter for this group. And then another guy that will likely also be starting, Jordan Durkak from Rutgers. This is a senior, ton of experience. This is the guy that has the most experience of all of the guys here. 1 year of eligibility left, but played at Merrimack prior to being with the Scarlet Knights. He was teammates with none other than Javon Bennett at Merrimack. He was also
a little reunion.
Yeah, a little reunion. So hearing Javon talk to in the press conference at UD last week, it was Javon definitely was instrumental, I think, in trying to get Jordan over here. So those two obviously have the chemistry there. Will be cool to see that back again. Both of them now in Flyers uniforms, of course. But he was the Northeastern Conference Player of the Year his sophomore year, and Javon Bennett also was a Northeastern Conference Player of the Year during his time at Merrimack. He was a Defensive Player of the Year and All-NEC First Team. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 2.1 steals a game. This is going to be a guy that they go to, rely on, hopefully maybe filling that Nate Santos role, big type of guard that can defend, rebound, but also shoot from the perimeter and be a scoring threat too. So it'll be interesting to see his role as well on this team. Look for maybe this guy's maybe of a vocal leader too, obviously, with his experience in college.
And he's played, it looks like, about every role you could. Obviously, he was the star his sophomore year at Merrimack, but mainly came off the bench at Rutgers, only starting 10 games and averaging 5.7 points per game, 2.8 rebounds despite his size. So he's somebody that could come into maybe a smaller conference like the A-10 and be impactful like he was at Merrimack.
Right, and it's always good when you get a guy that played in the Big Ten or a guy like, Deshaun Montgomery who played in the SEC. Well, it was limited. I mean, you can't put a price on some of that experience. If you played in the ACC, you play in the SEC, you play in the Big East even. These are conferences with rich basketball history, and I think that is kind of a kind of priceless type of experiences.
And maybe that was kind of what he was going for, too, knowing that
Right.
this also has a rich basketball history here in the Gem City.
Right. And then, when you think about another Big Ten guy that was here, too, another big body presence that they obviously are losing to graduation, too, that we didn't mention was Zed Key. Him coming in from Ohio State just down the road. He was really impactful right away for the Flyers early on. He had that injury, too, that kind of set him back. It was around the holiday tournament. And then we really didn't see steady minutes from Zed. Everyone still kind of is not sure exactly what happened there of why Key didn't start either starting or was only getting very limited minutes, whether it was just the injury or if Anthony Grant just felt that the lineup that he was going with was the accurate one. Obviously, Emil Latong was playing out of his mind enough to be the starting center, and that was Zed Key's position as well. So, but he was a Big Ten guy too, and you can see that past experience from playing in a league like that is can be contributed on a big scale too when you come play in the Atlantic 10.
And we just ran through the 4 guards, and there's one more forward that he brought in as well, Joey.
Yep, yeah, it's Malcolm Thomas from Villanova. Didn't play his freshman year, was redshirted with the Wildcats.
Again, rich basketball history, Big East, Villanova. I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, they definitely like their guys that they at least are at programs. And, I mean, the Flyers are lumped into that too. I mean, at least Flyers fans believe that.
Absolutely.
They're blue blood.
I think that's the point that I was trying to make. That he's
100%.
bringing in people that have that basketball culture into a place that has such a rich basketball culture.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't be more right about that when it comes to, coming from a program like Villanova, whether, he didn't see the floor at all, but he was around some of probably the best recruits maybe in the country, around a great coaching staff, a great program. So at least he has some of the early tools, and hopefully they can build upon him. Again, probably not going to get a chance to maybe see him a ton. The guy maybe coming in late in the game in a blowout or, kind of in that scenario. But looking at his highlight tape, this dude can dunk. I mean, he won the dunk contest there at Villanova, or part of the league or whatever it was. But, I mean, high-flying, athletic, has a very kind of Enoch Cheeks kind of feel as well to him. Hard to compare a lot of these guys to Enoch, though. But he's the first guy that kind of comes to mind. Obviously, no one's going to be able to compare to Deron Holmes from 2 years ago. But, yeah, I mean, it's an exciting lineup when you think about these 5 guys. And, Anthony Grant did get a chance to talk about these at the first press conference of kind of the spring/summer off-season program. AG seems pretty excited about these guys too. So we'll listen in and hear some of his thoughts from about the new guys.
Well, we haven't done anything yet, on the court. So, we feel like it's a group that has a lot of, a versatile skill set in terms of what they bring offensively, and then the ability physically to help us on the defensive end. I think if you look back, just having a chance to go through last season, we struggled on the defensive side of the ball. I thought that hurt us at times, prevented us from maybe accomplishing some of the things that we wanted to accomplish. So you try to address some of those things as best we can. So once we get this group together, I think we'll figure out where we can be the best version of ourselves. Yeah, well, I think, just with those 2 guys, Javon going from his first year, his role was different. He was primarily on the ball with Malachi's injury, and this past year we asked him to do something different in taking him off the ball more. And I think it opened up some opportunities for him to score the ball a little bit more for us. I think, moving forward, I think he's going to be a guy that, because of that experience, being a guy in his 4th year of college, will have a chance to do some of both of those things for us. And I think just that experience is no substitute for that. And with a guy like Amael coming in as a freshman, everything was new. Every experience was new. So a lot of times what happens with freshmen is the best thing that can happen to them is they become sophomores, right? Because they have that year of experience underneath them. So the adjustment for Amael now will be, he's not an unknown, so he's got to continue to push himself and challenge himself to take that next step. If you think about, where a guy like, not comparing the 2, but, you take a Deron Holmes as a freshman that came in and had to figure out how he could impact the game. And then the next year, the way teams came at him, he had to adjust to that. So I think there'll be another adjustment that Amael will have to make, and that's our job to try to help him with that. I mean, so we gotta learn each other. I've gotta learn them. They gotta learn me. They gotta learn each other. And so I look forward to that process starting. They're all coming from different backgrounds and different experiences. So we've got to try to put them together to where we can be, again, the best versions of ourselves and become a team.
Defense and experience.
Yeah,
over and over.
Yeah, just like what we talked about. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where this group kind of lays out. Obviously, a lot of work to go through this rest of the spring as we get into the summer off-season workouts. They'll go on their annual team bonding trip. They usually go somewhere in Europe, so that's always fun. And
Europe?
Yeah, they went to Spain, I believe.
Go visit Amael's family.
Yeah, there you go. Go to France. So, yeah, great stuff, obviously, from the Flyers. It's just getting started in this offseason. Of course, we're going to continue to have more about the lead up to another exciting basketball season here in the Gem City with our Dayton Flyers. Always excited for them. And we're going to touch on a few more things. Local baseball and softball state champions, or excuse me, just softball. Baseball hasn't happened quite yet. And then looking back at the Horizon League Championship as well, and the Wright State Raiders will be coming back right here on 2 Sports Overtime after the break.
Welcome back to 2 Sports Overtime. We want to run through a list of fun things that have happened already so far this summer, Joey. A lot of winners in the winner's circle here in the Miami Valley. Starting with the OHSAA State Softball Tournament, we had a lot of first-timers, Joey, making their first appearance. One of those being Centerville in the Division I Championship. Not only did they play in the championship for the first time ever, they'd never been to the state Final Four ever. And on an unprecedented year going into the tournament with 13 losses on the season, by far the most losses of any team going into that Final Four. But wouldn't you know it, they went out and upset Massillon Jackson to get to the state final and lost 3-1 in the final. But a huge congratulations to the Elks and everything they were able to accomplish this season. They were the only loser we had, though. We had a couple of winners come home for the first time as well. Springfield Kenton Ridge completed a perfect 32-0 season, winning the Division IV state championship. That was their first state title in program history after previously being the runner-up 4 times, most recently 12 years ago. So not only were they back for the first time in so long, but they got it done and they brought home the hardware for the first time in program history. They beat Hillsboro 9-0 in that title game. And finally, Tri-Village, also another perfect season, 30-0, the Division VI state champion. It was also their first program state title and the first time that they've been in the title game. And get this, 45 years. 1980 was the last time that Tri-Village was in the title game. They defeated Sugar Creek Garraway 6-0. For that Division VI championship, Joey. So a lot
Pretty
of fun
impressive
stuff so far.
It's hard to have a perfect season one time, let alone 2 local teams with perfect seasons.
That
that's
realignment, expansion is really helping out our local teams to get on the state stage.
7 divisions now in OHSAA. We're going to have a lot more state champions in every sport now going forward, it seems like. So it'll be interesting to see what the first year of football is going to be like, too, here coming up. So
yeah. And we had another big winner.
Oh, yeah.
The biggest probably of them all.
So far, at least. The Memorial Tournament, its 50th edition coming back to Muirfield, the home that Jack Nicklaus built. The story going into this one. Can Scotty Scheffler defend his ground, repeat? Last year, it was part of his 7 PGA Tour wins. Just electric. The world #1 kind of doing it all.
7 PGA Tour wins plus the gold medal.
Plus the gold medal, too. Can't leave that out. You're an Olympic champion. But what an exciting finish it was. Last year, it was kind of down to the wire between Colin Morikawa and Scotty Scheffler on those last couple holes. This time, Ben Griffin was the leader of the first day. It was kind of him, Nick Taylor, Scotty Scheffler right in day 2. So it was like, is Scotty going to make that run back? And sure enough, if he did, he won it by -8, and it was pretty exciting. And the best part of this was, obviously here, the celebration here with his wife Meredith and his son Bennett was fantastic. But he became the first back-to-back winner at the Memorial since Tiger Woods, who three-peated in 1999 to 2001. So pretty elite company when you have Scotty Scheffler on that podium there. So it was a great tournament. He showed once again why he is the world #1 and the best golfer on the PGA Tour. And pretty cool to see him here in Ohio, and Jack Nicklaus as well, current and former all-time golf royalty, kind of walking in. So
motion to nickname Scotty Scheffler the closer, because
what he
did for the 9th time in a row? He sealed the deal after leading after 3 rounds. That's the 9th time in a row he's done it, 10th time in his career, though.
Yeah, 54 holes?
54 holes. So after 3 rounds, when he goes into the final round with the lead, right now, he's batting 1,000.
I mean, he clearly
Scotty
knows how
the
to take care of
closer
business.
Scheffler.
Yeah, I like it. He clearly knows how to take care of business, and we're gonna get to see him here in full display too with the U.S. Open, and it's gonna be exciting too, just to see where his career goes. Obviously, he's gonna continue to try to trace that career Grand Slam, get that thing done early if he can. But yeah, I mean, it's always fantastic when you get a guy like that of that prestige of a golfer, in our own state too, and. It was being there in person. You were there for the first round. I was there for the final round. So bookending that coverage too for us, I know was exciting to see.
He's so beloved too. It's just crazy. Every hole, he's Scotty. Everybody's taking a picture. I love you, Scotty. It's just one of the most beloved people on tour right now, if not the most.
Yeah, and he knows how to give back to the fans too. Everybody loves him. He always makes time for the little kids, and seeing him when we're there with his family. Made for a great scene too at Muirfield. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to be back there next year. And
can he three-peat?
I mean,
first since Tiger again.
I'd put my money on him at this point. I mean,
he's got the lowest odds going into the U.S. Open.
Oh, by far.
Like historically low odds.
Yeah. We'll see how that one plays out. Obviously, we're going to be keeping an eye on him and everybody else as the PGA Tour continues. And then kind of wrapping up the show here, Kayler, I'll toss it back to you for. What an exciting collegiate baseball season we had, specifically for Wright State, and you got to see a lot of it as well, too. Kind of heavy there in that Horizon League tournament here in your first few months.
Yep, the Raiders winning their 5th Horizon League championship since 2018 and 11th all-time. That is the most of any program in the Horizon League. And how they did it, though, was super impressive because they had to win 3 elimination games in a row to get there. They were facing elimination 3 straight games over 2 days, and they just came out and got it done. And so they earned their spot in the NCAA tournament. They earned the 4 seed in the Nashville Regional, Vanderbilt being the overall 1 seed. And so that made they were the presumed 64 seed. And they didn't necessarily care too much for that disrespect from the committee. But you know what they did? They went into Nashville, and they took care of business. Now, the opener against Vanderbilt, super exciting game. They're leading them through 8 innings. You think, are they going to get it done? Cam Allen's got a no-hitter going. A little bit of a controversial decision to pull him out from the coach, as it was seen on social media, how people felt about that. And, of course, hindsight's 2020 when you look at the result. They dropped that game to overall 1 seed Vanderbilt in the tournament opener. But, once again, facing elimination, this team knows how to show up. So we fast forward to Sunday, and they're facing Vanderbilt once again in the tournament. And this time they get it done, and they make history in eliminating the overall 1 seed before the regional final. This is the first time in baseball history that that's ever happened.
Yeah,
that was exciting. And not only that, but Vanderbilt becomes the first number 1 seed since 2016 to not even make the Super Regional. Louisville went on to beat Wright State later that night. Very long day for Wright State that day to beat Vandy and then turn around and play Louisville in an elimination game. And Cardinals got it done, and they are on to the College World Series now. But just what an incredible season for the Raiders, once again, just showing why they're the class of the Horizon League.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they have proven year in, year out. I mean, you have 7 straight Horizon League regular season titles. These guys don't know anything other than hosting the Horizon League tournament at their own place. I mean, when we talked to Alex Sogard and Butler alum Boston Smith, who, of course, has the home run record now at 26, which is just incredible. And you look at a guy like J.P. Peltier, another young Raider on this team, another local kid out of Chaminade Julienne. These guys have only ever known playing on their home field here in Dayton for the Horizon League tournament, and they clearly know how to win there. When you secure your 4th Horizon League tournament title in the last 5 years, and 5th since 2018, all under Alex Sogard, that's a winning program. And it speaks to that, too, when we see the recent news of Cam Allen announcing his return for the 2026 season. And when you think about, anybody outside looking into the program could have said, oh, that guy's going to transfer out, especially after getting pulled with a no-no.
6 innings into a no-hitter.
So, but I think it's a really good testament. Think what you will about Sogard's decision there. He's obviously a great guy, great man, great dad, great coach. couldn't care more about this program. So you can say what you will about his decision there, but he clearly knows how to build the winning program. It's a testament to the culture that's there and being able to have a high-profile pitcher, one of their best, most dominant from last season, and a guy that could maybe be a little bit bitter, clearly is not, clearly wants to be back and continue to finish off, the business that was kind of unfinished. So this program,
you have to think with what they accomplished that they wanted more, that they're going to come back hungry.
This program is, they're hungry for that. The bar, the standard. I mean, this isn't like, oh gosh, we're back at NCAA tournament. We're doing this again. It's the standard. It's the bar, and we'll be excited to see what they do next year. So, well, that'll about do it here for us for the first episode of Two Sports Overtime. For Kayler Smith, I'm Joey DeBerardino. We'll see you next week for another episode. Thanks, and have